Ask yourself, are you going to have enough money to last your entire retirement? A new study says many of you have a great fear of running out of money. We'll talk about that study and present solutions coming up next on Your Money Matters.
There are plenty of people who believe a safe retirement is too good to be true, that there is no safe place for you to go with your money. Even your very own government will try to tax it right out from under your nose. But you've just tuned in to information that can save your retirement nest egg. It's Your Money Matters, featuring two of America's top retirement specialists, Christy Smith and Matt Kennedy with the Presley Group. They can teach you how to retire without all of the risks. Now, let's get back to Your Money Matters.
Good morning. Welcome to the show here on Talk 107.3 FM. I'm Matt Kennedy, licensed agent, retirement specialist with the Presley Group. Christy Smith, the owner, founder, and president of the Presley Group, will be along shortly. We have so much to get into today. Let's dive right into it. Earlier this week, big news, big splash in the Wall Street Journal. I think the Advocate on Friday may have had a story as well that talked about some new research out from the Employee Benefit Research Institute. They're the group that looks at consumer confidence in America, and they occasionally survey baby boomers about their confidence as they prepare for retirement. And the numbers are eye-opening. Bottom line, 49% of baby boomers surveyed recently by the Employee Benefit Research Institute, 49% said they fear they are not going to have enough money to last their entire retirement. That's half. Let's just call it half of baby boomers say their number one concern is simply running out of money during retirement. Also, a recent article out from Andrea Coombs from MarketWatch.com. Retirement fears rise among older workers. Those of you at the doorstep of retirement, according to this article, have deep concerns about your retirement. So there's a trend here, a trend among the surveys and the retirement journalists that there are very real concerns that you all have as you approach retirement or while you're starting retirement. At the Presley Group, we're here to address those concerns. First, though, let's speak with Andrea Coombs from MarketWatch.com. Her articles are available online at MarketWatch.com. Andrea, your article is entitled Retirement Fears Rise Among Older Workers. As you dug into the facts behind the story, what did you find?
Well, older workers, it's true, have sort of, for a number of years, been more worried about retirement than younger workers, and obviously they're closer to it. They see it coming. They sort of have a greater understanding of the fact that they may not have enough savings. But what this recent survey found, actually a couple of recent surveys found, that the fears have definitely risen. More older workers say they're going to delay retirement. More of them say they're going to have to work at least part-time in retirement. So you definitely saw fears rising, and part of that could well be, the ongoing effects of the market downturn a few years ago. I mean, people, still are trying to recover from that,
and a general fear of the market itself, right?
That could be part of it. The surveys, they often don't go deeply into detail as to why people are feeling this way, but some of the theories of the people who conduct these surveys, one of them is that, it's this ongoing problem of people just, they had, maybe they didn't have enough savings in the first place, but then the market really ate into that. So they're still trying to recover from that. But another piece of this worry among older workers could well be that people are just more aware these days of what sorts of costs they face in retirement. It's the good news is they may be more aware of what they need to save. The bad news is they're close to retirement and they haven't saved it yet. And one of the big pieces of that is healthcare costs. You think, by the time I hit age 65, I'll be eligible for Medicare, and that's a great thing. I mean, Medicare provides, is a strong insurance plan for the older people in our country. The problem is it doesn't cover everything. There's a lot it doesn't cover. It does not cover dental, hearing aids, long-term care. These things they can add up. You know, if you have a number of health issues and you're on Medicare, you can have the costs add up. And there are a number of surveys that have come out recently that, you know, some people estimate the cost to be, you know, for a married couple, $240,000 in retirement for health care.
$250,000 just for health care in retirement. That's a stunning figure.
It is a stunning figure, and you know it really is going to vary depending on your own personal situation. That particular study does look really, you know, they get at an average by looking at sort of average healthcare use. So it's a pretty, you know, it's a pretty good figure. But yeah, there are people who won't get anywhere near that amount because they're just healthier. So that's another thing. While you're saving for retirement, also think about really trying to just keep your health, you know, keep it good, because it's going to matter. You know, the older you get, the more it matters, of course.
Your article is entitled "Retirement Fears Rise Among Older Workers." I thought one of the most intriguing things that you've discovered and pointed out, the pensions are going away. I mean, my parents had it, your parents had it, we don't. And so is it the loss of that guaranteed pension payout that has so many people worried?
Yes, I think that's a big part of it. But interestingly, one survey actually talked to people who do have pensions, people who are retired now and who have a traditional pension plan in addition to their own savings. And even those people are finding it, you know, difficult financially in retirement. And, you know, even those people who have pensions say they wished they started saving earlier, that they'd saved more. So it certainly wasn't having a pension isn't a panacea, but of course,
right.
It's better than not having one, which so many people face these days. You're right. I mean, more and more people do not have a traditional pension. And that's, it all comes down to we all need to save more. And there's two sides of saving more. One is if you can put more into savings now while you're working, not only are you growing that pot of money you're going to have, when you retire, but you're also learning to live on less. And that's that can really help once you retire. If you can budget that way, think about saving money, that's going to help you. You won't need as much in retirement. And that's, I think a lot of people, they face a different standard of living because they haven't saved enough. They face a different standard of living in retirement because they didn't save enough before they retired.
The numbers on savings, what I found interesting, Andrea, is that from the Employee Benefit Research Institute in their 22nd annual retirement survey, and you quote some of this data in your article, a third of workers aged 55 and older had only saved $10,000 or less. And even another third, about 29% of workers aged 55 plus had only saved between $10,000 and $100,000. So a lot of people they don't have significant savings or sufficient savings, and I guess they're trying to add more coal to the fire right now, aren't they?
Yes, yeah. I mean, the real issue for people in that group who really have very little in savings, Social Security is what they need. I mean, they are going to rely on Social Security, and which I should point out, there are some people out there who aren't eligible for Social Security because of their work history. Maybe they, for whatever reason,
federal employees, teachers, things like that.
Exactly. So it's, but for the vast majority of people who don't have enough saved, it's Social Security, and there's a lot of talk right now about trimming benefits and what have you. I mean,
raising ages, yeah.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I think one idea that seems to be gaining traction is limiting the cost of living adjustment in Social Security, which it has a sort of, I won't go into the details of it, but the actual cost of living adjustment does have a sort of a strange, it doesn't always fit the costs that seniors are facing. It doesn't rise. For instance, healthcare costs are under accounted for in that cost of living adjustment, while, when energy costs go way up, seniors are affected differently than people who are commuting, say. Mm-hmm. But still, so maybe the cost of living, the COLA, as they call it, isn't perfect, but changing it, reducing it, cutting it, as some are saying they want to do during this fiscal cliff negotiation, that's going to hit a lot of seniors. And,
sure.
and on the other side of the coin, there's the people are there's the deficit, and a lot of people say there needs to be changes there, although there's some debate about that too. But still, when you think about it, Social Security is keeping a lot of people out of poverty. It's a hugely important
absolutely.
program. Yeah.
Andrea Coombs with us. Andrea, last but not least, you point out in the article that about 25% of workers say they may very well run out of money in retirement. I saw a piece of research the other day from a survey from, I think it was Allianz Life Insurance Company, and they researched and asked baby boomers, which do you fear more, dying or running out of money in retirement? And do you know more boomers said they feared running out of money more than death? I mean, this is a very real fear for some, especially those who have not saved enough, correct?
Yes, that's just a sort of somewhat horrifying statistic, but yes, it's it's a big fear. And again, Social Security is pretty much the only thing that's going to keep some people kind of treading water there. It's a really tough situation. I think people talk about a retirement crisis in this nation, and I think it is one. There are a lot of people who are going to struggle. On the other hand, there are a lot of people where Social Security is sufficient. There are people who have saved enough, and there's a sort of a wide a variety of realities out there. But certainly for a good chunk of our oldest citizens, it's retirement is a very scary prospect, which is not a good thing in my opinion.
No. So in closing, what's your advice? Clearly 2 words, right? If you can, save more.
That's exactly right. And really, for any people who are younger listening to this show or middle-aged, if still working, really ramp up that savings rate, because it's just it's so much easier. The more time you have, the easier it's going to be to save enough. So just really, think about putting aside 15% of your income, if not more, if you can. Obviously, that's not going to be doable for a lot of people, and I understand that. But really, if you can put aside 15% or more, you should start thinking about trying to do that.
Andrea Coombs from MarketWatch.com on the fears that so many of you face as we head toward retirement. Of course, we've got the new data out from the Employee Benefit Research Institute. Half of boomers fear they're not going to have enough money. And there's a third voice out there talking about these concerns. That's our friend Robert Powell from MarketWatch.com. I spoke to him recently. He has an article entitled, "Retirement in America is Endangered." Robert, there are a number of things to talk about in the article, Retirement in America is Endangered. Let's start with number one, and that's Social Security. That really is the great mystery that lies ahead for many of us, right?
That's right. So the biggest problem is that the Social Security trust funds will be exhausted in the year 2036, and at that point, there will only be enough income coming in to pay 77% of the scheduled benefits. So that's just a generation away from now. And, the longer we wait, the worse the problem becomes.
Would you say to someone who's close to retiring, maybe they're already 60, would you say Social Security is going to be okay for you, but maybe if you're in your 40s, Social Security would look different? Where is that breaking point, do you think?
Well, I think most people tend to put the break point around age 50 or 55. Age 50 tends to be the age at which people start planning for retirement in earnest. And so if you start changing plans for people who are over age 50, certainly over age 55, you're disrupting their retirement income plans, and it's less so for folks who are under age 50. And one of the things that happened many years ago was that President Reagan had put in place a commission led by Alan Greenspan in 1981. And 2 years after they put that commission in place, they were able to come up with a plan to raise the full retirement age and have it be phased in over a number of years, so that it went from age 65 to 67. And today, most people don't even feel that the full retirement age had been raised on them. And so I think the same could be done today, that for anyone under age 50, maybe we raise the retirement age from 67 to 70, let's say. And that could go a long way toward relieving some of the pressure that's on Social Security today.
Our guest is Bob Powell with MarketWatch.com. Bob, you point out in the article that a lot of people, when surveyed, their big concern is they just don't think they're going to have enough money in retirement. Recently, something like 13% Only 13% thought, yes, I've got plenty of money for retirement. You point out in the article that you write, one of the big changes will be people worried about making their money last, not how big their nest egg really is, right?
Well, it's sort of a double-edged sword. So on the one hand, people know that they don't have enough money saved for retirement, and they don't know how to manage it so that it does last a lifetime. And I think one of the big risks that people face is not that they'll run out of money per se, but that they'll run out of lifestyle. That over time, as they see that they're depleting their assets, they will slowly reduce their standard of living to a point that they never anticipated or envisioned when they were planning for retirement. So the trick, obviously, is to save as much as possible. Right now, what we know is that people are only saving, on average, 8% in their 401k, at least those who have it, and that the higher, the better contribution rate would be closer to 10, if not higher, and that would at least give folks a chance of retiring, combined with Social Security, around to replace about 80% of their pre-retirement income, which people say is not a bad replacement ratio. And
for many people, that replacement is going to, in your article you point out, that's going to have to involve some kind of income plan, right? That okay, at least I know I have X coming in to supplement Social Security, whatever that looks like, and pensions, whatever those may look like, correct?
That's right. And a lot of people think, well, I'll just the common rule of thumb is that I'll just withdraw 4% of my retirement assets, and that's enough to make my money last a lifetime, however long that might be. Well, one of the things that we know today is that Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke just said that we're going to keep interest rates at near zero for the next 3 years, which will really put pressure on people who are trying to withdraw income from their portfolios. They won't be able to live off interest and dividends alone. They'll have to start dipping into their principal, and that will deplete their funds even faster than they had anticipated. So having a plan that says, I know how much I'm going to take under what conditions, what interest rate environments or what real estate conditions, is very important. And people need to develop different options and revisit this plan every year. For some, it may mean that they have to keep working or return to the workforce. For others, it might mean that they take the equity out of their home, they sell their house, they move into a smaller place and generate some income from the assets, from the equity that they might have in their house. For some, it might even mean delaying Social Security, or at least understanding how to get the most highest benefit from Social Security. So in the old days, people could just retire and live off their defined benefit and Social Security and maybe some part-time work. Those days are gone. Today we have to be much more sophisticated about how we approach building a retirement income plan.
Robert Powell from MarketWatch.com. Income planning. Let us help you. Today we're offering a free booklet, The 10 Things You Need to Know About Retirement Income. This is not a long novel. It's not difficult to read through. I think you'll find it very, very helpful. 10 things you need to know about retirement income. To get your free copy of this booklet, simply call the office. Our office is at 225-791-5773. We've heard from Robert Powell about retirement in America being endangered, fears, concerns. Andrea Coombs from MarketWatch says that more and more of you mirror that employee benefit research study that says you're worried. You're worried about running out of money. You're worried about not having enough money in retirement. Let's address that. Call today to get your free copy of the 10 things you need to know about retirement income. And also, feel free to schedule that free, no-obligation consultation. We can help you get on that path to a successful, safe, peaceful retirement. Our number is 791-5773. We'll come right back. Christy Smith will join me. We'll also, when we come back, talk a bit about 4 key things to keep in mind as you plan for retirement. That's next on Your Money Matters. And welcome back to Your Money Matters here on Talk 107.3 FM. I'm Matt Kennedy, joined now by Christy Smith, owner, president, founder, trying to think of other titles, horse owner of the Presley Group. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. One of the things that we hear a lot in the office is, when people are starting to consider retirement, they don't really know what are all the elements that they have to consider in helping make that decision. Do they actually retire or not?
A lot of elements. And it's not just how much money do I have? There are emotional factors. There are financial factors. There's physical factors. There's all kinds of factors.
Well, and we have got a great, it's really like a little booklet. It's a great booklet. It's called The Things You Need to Know About Retirement Income. And I love this book because it really gives you things to consider that you probably have not, put into the mix. And so if you'd like a copy of our 10 Things You Need to Know About Retirement Income, give our office a call and just let Andrea know you'd like us to send you one in the mail. Or you can schedule a complimentary visit to come in, and we'll be glad to give you one when you do come in for your visit. But again, it's the 10 Things You Need to Know About Retirement Income. Just call Andrea and let her know you want one. 791-5773. 791-5773 is the number that you're going to call to get your 10 things you need to know about planning for retirement income.
You can also visit our website, safemoneyplan.net. That's safemoneyplan.net, and you can contact us that way as well. I want to go back to what you mentioned about as you get ready to retire, there's so many things to consider. I ran across an article from our good friend Bob Powell at MarketWatch.com, 4 simple steps to the complete retirement. Now, I know retirement can be a very daunting undertaking. We meet with many people who are already retired. It's going great for them. But those of you who are right on the cusp of retirement, it can be overwhelming. So let's see if we can go through these 4 steps, Christy. Bob Powell says step number 1 is get the right mix of assets, products, and a withdrawal strategy. This is so important. That mix is so important. And you may not find that mix all in one place. You may have to do some shopping around to find the right mix.
Well, often you do have to do some shopping around, Matt. The thing is that, a lot of our clients will come into us and they will be with a large brokerage firm and, their goals are not being met. And, they can see that when market conditions are down. I mean, we're fortunate. The market's been doing well and, we've been making money. But, when market conditions go down, that's when people really tend to get a grips on the fact that their plan's not doing what they really wanted it to do. Mm-hmm. And so, a lot of times you have to shop around to find that right mix. And, the good news is that at the Presley Group, we do have some great software that we can sit down and work with you and plug in some information, and it's going to give you some ideas and suggestions on what the right mix may be. You may want to use some of your money in our fixed indexed annuity strategies. You may want to keep some in the market. You may want some in the bank as liquid money. Finding the right mix is definitely important, and I think any advisor that would pull all of your money into one category is really a foolish thing to do.
Well, when we sit and talk and you're planning for retirement, or if you're already retired but you're not happy with your present strategy, we're going to talk about really 3 types of, we'll call it capital, that you've got. You've got human capital, and that's the money you're making from or the money you made from working. You've got your social capital. That's Social Security. That's what the government's sending you, right? And then you've got your financial capital. That's your taxable and tax-deferred accounts. Now, once you stop working, some of that human capital goes away. So as you twist and bend, you have to look at where you're going to get your retirement income from. Here's what Bob Powell writes. Part of this exercise involves purchasing annuities to make sure your future expenses are covered, especially as well as getting a handle on your tolerance for risk. Here's a guy that writes for MarketWatch saying, that A word, the one that makes so many people nervous, annuity, is very much something you should look at as part of that foundation beneath you.
Well, annuities are really able to offer us that guaranteed income to fill in that gap in our retirement plans. And that's what people are really looking for right now. I mean, we're living so much longer, and we want to know that regardless of what happens to the market, we are going to continue to receive our guaranteed income for the rest of our lives. And that's where annuities have really become so valuable. I mean, they've always been able to meet that need. The problem is that so many of you listening just didn't know that could be a good option for you. And so we're starting to see more and more economists and, we're starting to see more of them understand the real value of annuities. Now, I do have to say that all annuities are not alike. And that's why it's so important that you work with someone that is an annuity specialist, and so that you can learn your options, what's available out there. And Matt and I can definitely help you with that, and and give you some great information as to guide you into how much you may want to consider using into that that guaranteed income bucket.
One of the real popular strategies now is laddering.
Yes.
And that's a strategy, for those who don't know, is you're approaching retirement, you've got your pool of money you've saved up, and so you have to ladder what money you draw out today, what money you're going to draw out in 3 years, what will you draw out in 5 years, down the road, so on and so forth. And we can help you set up that structure, because if you're not careful and you set the ladders up wrong, you could run out of money. Our plans are for you guaranteed retirement income. It's kind of a ladder that you can count on.
And we actually call that, instead of calling it laddering at our office, we call it SIPS. We call it a systematic income payment system.
I like that better. It sounds fancier.
Well, what it's designed to do is it's designed to give you a lifetime plan so that we ensure you never run out of income. And often I'm asked from people, how much should I consider putting in annuities? And really the answer is, how much do you not want to lose? And, how much income do you need? Because
right.
If we can determine how much income you need, then we can determine how much you should consider using in fixed index annuities. Now, listen, Matt, I know you want to talk about this a little more, but I just have to say, right now, the market has done so well.
Yep.
People are happy. They're making money. But look, that can change tomorrow. How many of you are within 5 years of retirement? You're over 59 and a half. You're working for your company. Don't plan on leaving for another 5 years. You should consider coming in to meet with either me or Matt and just learning what your options are in doing a in-service distribution, because many of you can take control of some of those assets right now. And let's face it, if we went back to 2008, how many of you thought, wow, I wish I would have got my money out before the market downturn? I'm not saying a downturn's coming tomorrow, but what I'm saying is why not realize those gains that you have right now in your portfolio and consider shifting some of that into a safer, more secure environment so that you can have that guaranteed retirement income that you don't have to worry about. You don't have to wait till retirement. You can do it now. In many cases, if you're over 59 and a half, we can process that in-service distribution. Now, all you need to do is schedule your complimentary visit to come in and meet with either me or Matt. We will be moving offices in the next couple of weeks. We're going to be moving to Veterans Boulevard, right there in Denham. And lovely office. We'd love to have you come in and see it. Our office number is 791-5773, 791-5773. If you don't have time to come in and meet with us, just give us a call and let us know you want the 10 things that you need to know about retirement income, and we'll be glad to send you one out today.
Also, you mentioned the over 59 and a half. If you're still working, I want to stress, too, if you left a job, no matter your age, if you left a job and you left behind an old 401k or other qualified plan, and it's sitting there all lonely, you took your coffee mug from your old job, you took your hopefully you didn't take the stapler. That may have belonged to the boss. You took all the stuff that was yours. But, Christy, we see it all the time. People in their early 50s have left a job, and we're talking to them about what assets they have. Oh, yeah, I have that 401k. I forgot about it sitting over there at XYZ. We can take that, turn it into an IRA, and protect it from market losses. Let it create a guaranteed retirement income for you down the road. So even if you're not 59 and a half, if you've stopped working somewhere, we can help you with that as well.
Well, and the funny thing is that you say that, Matt, because, what I'm seeing more and more of is that, there are fewer and fewer people working at their jobs for 20 and 30 years now. I mean, we have people that come into the office and they literally, they have 3 or 4 different IRAs because they've left the job, turned it into an IRA and just left it there, just really don't do anything with it. And, while we can make such a difference, we've got great products available. We've got a product through Security Benefit that can offer you an 8% bonus. In addition to of that, if you're using that money as a future income need, as we're gonna turn that money into an income in the future, then we can actually put a rider on that policy that will guarantee that account will grow at a minimum of 7% compounded interest every year until you turn it on as that income. And so, we've got great plans out there. Really great plans. And now is the perfect time because, we see so many people when the market starts going down, our office gets flooded. Flooded. I can still remember the first time you came in the office, Matt, and I had messages everywhere on my desk.
Late 2008.
Yeah, because so many people were calling wanting to come in. But the reality is wouldn't it be, it would be a far greater value to you to be able to make that change while your accounts are up. Don't wait until the market goes down to make good decisions. Give our office a call and schedule that visit to come in immediately.
Okay, Bob Powell's article, 4 Simple Steps to the Complete Retirement from MarketWatch.com. Number 2, getting retirement expenses right. This is a big one, Christy. In your 16-plus years of working with people who are retiring, approaching retirement, it sometimes is difficult. I hear this all the time. Matt, it's going to be tough for us to figure out how much we need to live on. That can sometimes be a daunting task because you think when you retire, you're going to need a lot less money. The truth is, Christy, certainly in the early years of retirement, you still need about the same amount of money, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we're seeing where some are even spending a little more than they were while they were working because they're starting to do a lot more traveling. Mm-hmm. The demographics of a family has changed so much. It's nothing for mom and dad to have to travel to, Washington to see a child with their grandchildren, and so expenses don't tend to go down, immediately when you do retire. But one thing I find that can be really helpful to those of you who are approaching retirement and would like to get maybe an idea of how much it will take for you to live on during retirement, we simply have to work on a budget. And again, you can call our office and come in and meet with us. We'll be glad to work on a budget with you so that we can see if we can create a plan to meet those needs. So that budget is always taken care of.
Bob Powell writes, whatever you do or don't do, one lesson is clear. If you don't know what your expenses are or will be in retirement, how will you ever know how much income you're going to need in retirement? Now, we'll talk about point 3 after the break, and that is maximizing retirement income. But it's so critical as you approach retirement, or if you just retired, you really have to get a solid budget. We sound like Dave Ramsey, don't we? But you have to get a solid budget so you can know how much you're going to need when you actually do call it quits.
And it's unfortunate that so many of you do not even know where to begin in making a budget. If your wife, Matt, if your wife could be the budget analyzer for most incomes in Baton Rouge, this would be a great city.
Yeah, she is. If my wife could
she's phenomenal.
If she could be Treasury Secretary, we would not be $17 billion in debt, or trillion in debt. I can assure you of that.
Well, we say that as a joke, but in reality, we can help you. And I think one of the things that we have to evaluate before we can even begin working on a budget is, what categories do we have to use to count towards expenses, and we can help you do that. These are things that we do every day. We've been doing this for a long time. I've been actually helping people since May of 1997 protect their retirement income and their retirement dreams. And, why not let us help you?
The number to call is 791-5773. 791-5773. You can also schedule your free, no-obligation appointment online right there through our website, safemoneyplan.net. We'll come back in a moment. There are 2 more of the 4 simple steps to the complete retirement. We'll unveil those. Oh, and don't forget, if you'd like a copy of the 10 things you need to know about retirement income, it's free for the asking. Simply call 791-5773, 791-5773, and request your copy. Back with more of Your Money Matters in just a moment on Talk 107.3 FM. And welcome back to Your Money Matters. Matt Kennedy, Christy Smith from the Presley Group. Again, just reminding you, we're offering that free brochure today, 10 Things You Need to Know About Retirement Income. It's a perfect time to offer this booklet. as the Benefit Research Institute, MarketWatch, and other surveys finding, about half of you are deeply concerned about, running out of money during retirement. So this is our gift to you to help you plan for that retirement. Simply call 791-5773. I believe Eva's in the office this morning. Just tell Eva you'd like to request a copy of the 10 things you need to know about retirement income. Call us up, 791-5773, and we'll get that in the mail to you. If you already know that you need retirement income, if you already know you're concerned about the ups and the downs and the volatility of the stock market, call and schedule your free, no-obligation one-on-one consultation. Call 791-5773. Christy, you and I have been working together now for about 5 years. You've been helping people with their retirement needs for, almost 16 years now, coming up 16 years this May. And I think the one thing that people often ask both of us is, what makes you guys different? Christy, what is it that you would say sets us apart?
We can all do good in good years. And certainly right now we should all be kind of feeling good because we're all making some money, But the reality is where we become different is in bad years. Now, that's on performance. But where I believe we as a company really separate ourselves from most out there is that we're quite different in the environment that we work in. We really consider our clients to be family members. We consider our team members that are going to work with us family members. And when you come in to meet with us, it's not the typical, tell me what you have, this is what we're going to do, and, sign here and we're going to take care of you. That's not at all how we operate at the Presley Group.
And I will tell you, about what makes us different. My experience in working with you, Christy, is that on more than one occasion, someone has said to me after we sit on the first visit, we spend an hour together, they're amazed that we actually listen. So if you're sick and tired of a financial advisor who sounds like an auctioneer, and sign here, because that's what happens a lot. And I've sat down with people and said, a guy told me I should do this, but I had no idea what I was doing. I just went along with it. Well, you should never be involved with something you don't understand. So first and foremost, we're going to listen. We're going to shut our mouths and listen to what you need, not try to tell you what you must have.
And that's really going to go back to the issues that Bob Powell's talking about. We have to consider, we have to consider the things that are going to affect us during retirement. And many of you don't even know. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to put those pieces to the puzzle together so that we can really give you a solid roadmap to retirement.
Our number is 791-5773. If you'd like to experience the difference for yourself, give us a call. It's a free, no-obligation retirement consultation, 791-5773. Bob Powell writes the 4 simple steps to the complete retirement. Number 1 was getting the right mix of assets, products, and a withdrawal strategy. Number 2 is you got to figure out your retirement expenses. Number 3, and this is the one we love to talk about, maximizing your income. He writes, besides getting a handle on retirement expenses, you'll have to figure out ways to maximize and optimize your income in retirement. Now, you may have a pension. You probably are going to have Social Security or a combination of the two. But what you really want to be careful of, Christy, is running out of money. And that's where we really come in. Our fixed indexed annuity strategies that not only protect you from market losses, let you share in market gains, can also be structured with a contract from a rock-solid A-rated insurance company to pay you that lifetime income you can count on.
Well, and he even goes into saying, that once you reach retirement, every bit of income is absolutely precious.
Yes.
And what we have to do is we have to look for ways to create the most amount of income that is possible. Now, these annuity strategies that have income riders that are designed to flip that switch and turn on that guaranteed income are definitely a great a great option because we can guarantee retirement income not only for yourself but for your spouse as well. You just got to learn your options, and I'll tell you what, the word is spreading. For those of you who have heard from your stockbrokers, don't buy annuities, don't buy fixed indexed annuities, they're bad things. Well, I can tell you the last figure I saw, now I haven't looked in the last week or so, but the last figure I saw in December showed that more than $25 billion went into fixed indexed annuities in the last quarter alone. So, people are they're learning, they're getting that message. At some point, you have to decide to wake up and to hold yourself accountable for these decisions.
Well, and one of the big questions too is, okay, when do I take Social Security? Do I take it at 62? Do I take it at 65 or 66? Do I push that off till age 70? One of the beautiful things is when you come in to meet with us, we have some software. Gotta love computers. We can put in your retirement age, and we can show you different levels. We can mix and match. It goes back to number one, that right mix of assets. We can show you, well, if we hold off on retirement, we'll have to put more into this payout plan. Or maybe we take more from Social Security now, or take it now, and we do we can mix and match, is my point, Christy, so that you can have a real good handle on when should you take your Social Security.
Well, and not only that, we're going to use illustrations based on guarantees, not hypothetical. I sound like a computer. Not hypothetical returns, so that we know you have a guaranteed retirement income.
You're not guessing.
I can't tell you how many times I see people come in the office with an proposal that they've gotten from another advisor, and the funny thing is they're basing their income off of hypothetical illustrations that really are very generous.
Well, they're guesses. They're darts at a dartboard, Christy. And then last but not least, Christy, in the 4 simple steps to the complete retirement, reaching an agreement. This agreement is between husband and wife, and wife and husband.
This is a big one.
And I don't know how much we can help you with that one, but you have to know, for example, he points out, honey, we're going to travel, we're going to not travel. Where do we want to live? How much do we want to bass fish versus go to ball games? That is a serious discussion. But he concludes it by saying, the lesson is this: advisors must give people the peace of mind that they're on the path to what's most important to them in retirement, and maximizing the possibility and the probability that you'll reach that goal. We want to get to know you. We want to know at the Presley Group, what do you like to do? You like to fish? Like to hunt? Like to golf? How do we make sure that we make your plan set up in a way that you can do those things without having to worry about the market taking it away?
And we really want you to do those things because we like it when you bring us fish, and we like it when you...
we have clients who bring great tomatoes. I love their vegetable
garden,
gardens.
Yeah. And so, the thing is that it's a beginning of a new year. Why not start this year off with some satisfaction in knowing that you did everything you could to learn what's out there, how to protect your family. Really, financial planning is really about family peace of mind. We give out sleep masks to our clients because we think after they're taken care of, they can sleep better at night.
Get some rest.
So, if you want to get our brochure that is talking about the 10 things that you need to know about retirement income, this is a great brochure. This is like a 10-page brochure that it's color, it's professionally printed, it's got great information. You want to know how's this brochure going to help you? It's going to tell you all the things, all the aspects that you need to take into account when you're planning for retirement. Every one of you should be calling to get this today. Our phone should be ringing off the hook. Our office number is 791-5773, 791-5773, or you can call the office and schedule your complimentary visit, or you can even go to our website, safemoneyplan.net, safemoneyplan.net.
We'll be back with more of Your Money Matters in just a moment here on Talk 107.3 FM.